How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Don Lemon claiming that white men are the biggest terror threat to the USA. Now, this comes on the heels of the very unfortunate situation that happened in Pittsburgh with the synagogue shooting. White men shot and killed, I think, between 11 and 15 people. Really sad. Rest in peace to all those who died. You also had a situation in Kentucky where a white man allegedly shot two black folks at a supermarket. And then there was the whole case of the quote-unquote MAGA bomber. It was this guy sending out pipe bombs to Donald Trump's so-called political rivals. Now, I've seen his picture. He does not quite appear to be white to me, but I digress. The whole point is that he's using these recent examples to prove his claim that white men are the biggest terror threat. Now, before I even get into it and give you my 2 cents on it and give you the reality, what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see him say those things for himself. You'll see it in full context. And if I can find a link to the full show, I'll place that in the box so you get the total context. After we get done with that, I'll talk about how it does not make any sense. I'll talk about Don Lemon's personal life and how he's a hypocrite here. And then I'll talk about what's really going on as far as who's killing who, why, when, where, etc. And I'll also talk about how Don Lemon doubled down on the situation. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Cover it because we were distracted by another extremist that was doing bad things in the name of hate.
Yeah, and then now another one. And you have all of them in a row. And, you know, we messaged about this a little bit this weekend. I keep trying to point out to people not to demonize any one group or any one ethnicity, but we keep thinking that the biggest terror threat is something else. Some people who are marching, you know, towards the border like it's imminent. And when the last time they did this, a couple hundred people came and they, you know, most of them did get into the country. Most of them got tuckered out before they even made it to the border. So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right. And we have to start doing something about them. There is no travel ban on them. There is no ban on, you know, they had the Muslim ban. There is no white guy ban. So what do we do about that?
Okay, so you saw that. You heard that. Now, this is really crazy. Don Lemon, I understand you're on CNN. I get it. You have to kind of toe this line. But come on, at a certain point, you just can't come on here and just tell lies. Before I even get into the factual information that's going on, the numbers and everything else, let's address the elephant in the room. I know you guys have seen this all over the internets, all over everywhere. Don Lemon dates white men. Now, I'm not a homophobe or nothing like that. I don't care what you do. If you're gay, hey, man, hats off to you. I'm not. But if you are, cool for you. I'm just saying, how are you going to sit there and really just spew this anti-white rhetoric while you're in the bed with white men? I don't get how that really works. But then again, I do, because you see this a lot. You see a lot of black folks or any other non-white people. They talk about all this stuff. White man this, white man that, they're the scum of the earth. Meanwhile, they sleep with them. That's usually how that goes. So I'm not really surprised here. But for now, I'll just move on. Let's get to the real numbers. And we're going to start with how Don Lemon tried to double down on it and prove his claim that white men are the biggest terror threat to the USA. He cited this study, and if I could find the text of it from this article, I'll place that on the screen before you. I'm not giving you the 100% exact numbers, just remembering it, but you'll see it on the screen. I think it was something like 106 people were killed in 62 incidents of terror since 9/11, which is a key thing I'll talk about in a minute, by white men. And then there were like 119 people killed in 23 incidents by people that are Islamic in America. So he's citing that study to prove his claim. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a math scholar, but isn't 119 or 116 more than 106 or 109? Obviously, the number of the Islamic killings is more than the white killings. Furthermore, this stat I always see talking about since 9/11, they don't want to talk about 9/11 because that'll just kill all the stats right there. They don't want to so-called pollute the waters. Like if they went all the way back to 1980, they would see a humongous distance between terror attacks by white men who are not of the Islamic faith and those who are of the Islamic faith in America, regardless of what color they are. Okay, you will see a humongous gap. And my question here would be, what counts as a terror attack? They're talking about the incident that happened in Kentucky where this white man went and shot 2 black people in a department store, a grocery store or whatever. Is that a terror attack? Is that a hate crime? If that counts as a terror attack, you see terror attacks happen every day in the hood, in the ghetto, as black on black. You got 7,000 black people that are shot and killed every year. 7,000. I ain't talking about by suicide. I'm talking about violent acts of crime against somebody. You got 7,000 people that get shot and killed every year that's black. And you probably got about 14,000 that are killed in total. Out of all the murders, not just black murders, not just white murders in the USA, but out of all murders, 52% are committed by black people, mostly black men between the ages of 15 and 35. So you're talking about 13% of the population, the total black population. I mean, man, woman, child. 13% of the population responsible for 52% of all the murderers and 48% of all the victims. So Don Lemon, you're a black male last time I checked. Why are you talking about white men being the biggest terror threat when obviously you as a black man face the biggest threat against your life by black men? Maybe that's why you were a white man. I don't know. Maybe you feel more safe. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing something out there that might make a little bit of sense, because what you said on the air does not make any sense. Maybe you weren't prepared to actually talk about this, because when you came back to double down, the study you referenced disproved your point. It proved that people from the Islamic faith in America, when they commit terror attacks, commit more than white men. And then the whole thing about since 9/11 is BS. All you got to do is just go back like to 1980. And like I said, you'll see a big gap. It'd probably be this many terror attacks by Islamic people and about that many by whites. If you're talking about shootings in general, people died, it's not even a contest. White men are not going to be the highest. They should be, because they're the majority population, and most crimes are committed by men, especially murder. I think it's like, what, 99, 95% of crimes that are violent are committed by men. So you should have white men at the top, but you don't. So if we're going to get into this whole racial game of saying what race commits the most crime, if you really want to go there, it's not going to look good for us. It won't look good for you. But hey, maybe you really don't care about facts. You are on CNN after all. I think you're more worried about pushing the narrative rather than giving out real information, which is why we said at the White House, CNN sucks, which is why so many Americans are saying CNN sucks. Fake news, because you keep going on here and spewing out false information. So that is pretty much all I got to say about it. What say you? Do you think that Don Lemon is a hypocrite? You're sitting here dating white men, but you're saying that white men are the biggest terror threat. When you try to come back with information to prove it, it disproves it. When you look at the total amount of murders happening every year, it's not even a contest. Black men, 52% of all the murderers, despite only being less than 13% of the population. White men are about, 65% of the population, non-Hispanic, but they don't account for half of the murders. I mean, let's look at reality for what it is rather than what we think that it should be. Or am I wrong? Am I just an anti-black hater? Am I this? Look, the reason why I keep talking about that stat about, the amount of murders that black men commit is because I'm black and I'm going to be the most in danger. I'm worried about my life. Okay, it's not about trying to be anti-black. It's about trying to be pro-black. We got a big problem in the community with the violence that we commit amongst each other and against everybody else, because quiet is kept. Not only do blacks commit the most crime against blacks and at the highest rate out of any other race that commits amongst themselves, we also commit the greater amount of crimes against other races as well. It's no contest. When you're looking at black on white versus white on black, the black on white crime is far outpacing the white on black crime. So when you come with this narrative about white men being so dangerous, let's look at the reality of the situation. I'm not trying to excuse anybody doing anything. The people that died in the synagogue, my heart goes out to your families. The people that died in the grocery store, my heart goes out to your families. But let's look at reality for what it is rather than what we or anyone else thinks that it should be. So whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.